No.
Hi there, so this is another episode of Beyond the Tea Room, and I'm Deborah Murphy, and this is our special guest today,
Elaine Wallace.
And Elaine is a fellow author, and today we're going to be baking from my book, The Magical Tea Room on the Hill. We're going to be baking the chocolate orange cake because Elaine said she wanted to cook something chocolate.
Yes.
So that's the one that we're going to be doing today. Okay. So, but before we start, do you want to just introduce yourself, Elaine?
Okay, so I'm a school teacher and I started thinking about writing a book a few years ago. And during COVID, I did a lot of jigsaws. I also really like traveling. So I wondered if I could put the kind of two together. And that's when I came up with the idea of the Jigsaw Mysteries. So we'd just been on holiday to South Africa and had a great time there. So I thought that would be an ideal place to start with my first book. So so we've got the Jigsaw Mysteries South Africa.
Good. And we'll chat more about that later. So we'll just get our glamorous assistant over there just to take those so we don't spill on them. Okay, thank you very much. So what we're going to do today is Elaine has chosen to make a big cake. So this is a 9-inch cake. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little ones. Remember, like the ones that we used to send out in the cake boxes. So I'm going to make small ones. So I'm going to make 13 little ones, so a baker's dozen. So first of all, what we've got sugar, we've got polenta. So polenta is, this whole cake is a naturally gluten-free one. Not because I'm putting anything special in it, but because the ingredients are gluten-free. So polenta is like cornmeal or maize. Sometimes it's called maize, but it's a different type of flour, and it's naturally gluten-free. So the one that I'm using is fine. You can actually get fresh polenta, which doesn't work for this, which I learned by mistake. But you can get fine, which is this, or you can get coarse, and which still gives it that nice flavour and that nice colour, but it's a little bit gritty.
Yeah.
So then we've got ground almonds, we've got mixed nuts, we have got chocolate, because we need chocolate orange, and we have orange. Now, because it takes so long, I've already grated. I say already grated, zested the oranges and juice them. So when I used to make this cake an awful lot in the tea room, and it was one of the tasks that I didn't particularly like doing, grating it. Zests, it takes forever to do. And then after I'd had that heart attack thingy, and I was still trying to bake and do everything, but just zesting the oranges was just so hard work. So my glamorous assistant said, "Would you like me to do that?" And ever since,
that's his job.
That's been his job. So this morning it was like, 8 oranges that we had to zest, big oranges, and it was like, "Do you want me to zest?" And I said, "Oh, would you please?" So we have the zest for each of us. We have the zest of 4 oranges and the juice of 3, because the juice of the 4th one is going to be poured on later once it's cooked. So okay, and just because you want it to be really orangey, and I know you've got lots of orange, I've actually got some orange. Can you smell that? Some orange extract as well. So that's the orange extract. And you can leave that out if you don't want it. Yep. So the first thing that we're going to do is and butter, which could be butter, could be stock. And we're going to ask our glamorous assistant if he'll melt those in the microwave. So we don't just want them softened, we want them actually totally melted. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to mix all the dry ingredients together. Okay. So we're going to put the sugar, and this is granulated sugar. Okay. And then we are going to put in the baking powder. Okay. And we have the polenta. And it's really nice, this polenta, because it gives a nice yellow bake to the stuff. And if you're baking gluten-free stuff, sometimes they don't brown very well. So,
Right.
so sometimes you just need something to give it that colour. And this works nicely for that. Then we have ground almonds. There we go. Just mixing it all up just to make sure it's all there. And then we have our mixed chopped nuts. And again, you could, if you don't like all the nuts that are in there, you could change it. You could just do hazelnuts. You could just do walnuts. You could just do anything. Yeah. The chocolate we're going to put in last.
Okay.
But then what we need to do is we need our eggs. So we've got 4 eggs each.
Yep.
And I'm just going to
You're beating them out.
And the reason that the eggs are in a separate bowl to start with is because it is a bit of a thing of whether you can sometimes have some sort of nasty, horrible diseases, germs, whatever, on your eggshells. So it's better to. And then you're just gonna just whisk those. Okay, and just put those in there. It's a very simple cake to make, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Alright.
And we're just mixing all these together. We don't have to do it too much because we are going to put it into the mixer. And our sous chef over there is melting our stock for us. But we can put in our orange and the zest. So we've got the juice and the zest. And just so that you see, so the zest is just the very orangey bit of the skin that you've taken off. So you don't want the white bit in because the white bit is the pith.
Yeah.
And that's a bit bitter. So you don't want that. But
Okay.
they're for the thing later on. Okay, so you can put your stock. No, actually, it's not stock. It's butter this time. So you can put your butter in there. Okay. I'll just wait for him to bring me mine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put these into. Just going to give them a good mix up on the food mixers.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. A little mix. So we just need to swap this. So what we're going to do, and I will cut this bit out, is we're just going to mix it up using the food mixers, which is a little bit noisy, and it just makes it nice and thick. So we're just going to do that, and I'll cut that out. We now have ours. So everything's mixed up in there, and you can see it's just nice and thick. And we're going to put in our little bit of orange extract. And the final thing that makes it the chocolate orange cake.
Yeah,
so these are chocolate drops. When I first started making this, I used to use a bar of chocolate and chop it up. But I found that the little chunks still take big. And they were too big, which was good for one person, but maybe for somebody else who then didn't get a piece of chocolate, they'd be like, yeah. So you're just gonna pop that in.
Well, it smells amazing though.
Look
at that orange.
It doesn't smell. So tell us then, what made you want to write in the first place?
Well, as a child, I'd always done a bit of writing. So me and my sister used to have little libraries, and we used to make books and get people to sign them out. Family members came over. So I'd always had an interest in writing anyway. And then as I got up through high school, I was in a kind of creative writing group, and then being a teacher, I always do enjoy teaching writing. So I suppose writing's always been kind of part of what I've been doing. So it felt like the next kind of progression, I suppose, to write
I
my
love
own
I love
book.
that idea of and you told about that in your book
Uh-huh.
launch, but that idea that you were writing books and doing a library.
Yeah.
So I made the suggestion, you know, have you still got those books? And now can you do something with them? Can you
Yeah.
redo them?
I don't know. I think they're probably up in Mum and Dad's loft. So yes, we'll need to see if they're still there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think, my glamorous assistant, do you think you could just pass me that tray with the
So
wings? So I'm making small ones, thank you, and just a tray to put Elaine's tin on. So Elaine's doing an 8-inch cake, sorry, a 9-inch cake, and I'm doing little small ones. Okay, so you can just, and we've just put some parchment paper in this, and just greased it just to hold it in place, and you can just literally just pour that in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape mine into here. So what were your stories about then when you were little and you were doing them?
Well, I was a big Enid Blyton fan, so a lot of them were kind of adventure stories. So actually quite similar to what my book's about just now. I was kind of into adventures and, you know, what a group of children would get up to and things. So probably Enid Blyton was one of the ones I did follow as a child. So.
Right. I think as a child, one of my favourite ones was Heidi.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be Heidi.
Live in the mountains.
Yeah. With long plaited hair, which clearly hasn't worked, has it? Yeah. I was trying to grow my hair back a couple of weeks back, and I was like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So when I was doing these for and I was selling the cake boxes, I used to measure each one out. But now, because it's only us that I can eat, yeah. So you're saying that at the moment you're reading the book out to your pupils. Mm-hmm. How does that feel?
It does feel a bit odd actually, because you're reading it and you're thinking, sometimes I don't even need to look at the book as I'm reading because I know it so well. So that's kind of odd. And I've had some really nice comments from the children as well, which is lovely.
So what do they think of Miss being an author?
I think when they look at it, they're kind of a bit kind of bemused by it. You know, are you really that person whose name's on the front of the book? So
yeah, yeah. I mean, they'll remember that. You know, instead of let's go. Oh, well, my teacher, she was an author.
She was an author.
Yeah, and I wonder how many children you're going to inspire to be writers,
to write their own books,
because their teacher was an actual published, not just a writer, an actual published author. Yeah. And how did it feel when you got your first copy of your book in your hand?
Oh, it was amazing. It was opened up the box or the envelope with the proof in it, and it was just amazing to see it all typeset so beautifully, and all my words in print, and all the pictures just coming to life.
Let's just go back then. Who was the typesetter?
Who was the typesetter? It was a lovely Deborah. Was the typesetter?
That was me. Yeah.
No, it was amazing just to see it all, and I don't think you ever get that. You know, with any other experience, it's your work, what you've put hours and hours into, and it's lovely.
So the book launch now.
The book launch, it was just held in the village that I live in, and lots of friends and family came along to see the book launch.
You know, some people have book launches, and there might be half a dozen people there. Elaine had a hall, and it was full. It was full of people.
It was busy, and lots of people came. I knew a lot of people, but there's a few kind of surprises there I didn't know were coming, and things, and a few people who I didn't know. So it was lovely, really, really nice evening. And of course, at the end, we had some tea and coffee and cake, and
very nice. Very nice.
We had a jigsaw as well. You know, very apt with the Jigsaw Mysteries for the children to do, and some colouring in pictures of African animals. So
what I liked, you'd got all the videos from the holiday that had inspired the book as well.
Yeah.
You know, and the elephants walking. I mean, that was just amazing to see all these elephants, and yeah, it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think that's what's quite nice about it is it's all, when we went on holiday, it's all the places we went to and we visited. Not everything happened to the three children in the book that happened to us, but you know,
I'm very pleased about that because
yes.
I know what happened in the book. Yeah, yeah. But there was also the bit about Table Mountain because that features in the book. But tell us about climbing Table Mountain and coming back down.
Oh, there's a couple of pictures of me going up the mountain. And going up was bad enough because the steps were huge. You were going up kind of steps kind of half a meter tall. So I'm quite small with short legs. So trying to scramble up that was difficult. The time I got up to the top, I was absolutely shattered, but coming down was even worse. My son had to help me get down the steps because they were just too big. You felt as if you were having to jump, and your legs by this time were a bit like jelly. And we passed this chap on the way down who his legs had just basically given way. I think he wasn't. And we said, "Are you okay? Can we help you?" And he says, "Oh, I'm just going to go down in my bottom." So he was going to go down the entire mountain, just going down in his bottom. But he was quite happy, and he says, "No, I'll just have to go down like this."
Yeah,
but, it was quite tough. The cable cars weren't working; they were off for maintenance during the 2 weeks we were there. So if we wanted to go up, it was walking up and down.
Good experience. Huh? So we've got our cakes ready now. Elaine's got the big one. I've got the little ones. So they're both going to go in at 160 degrees. Elaine's is going to take maybe about 40 minutes with that one, but mine are only going to take 20 minutes because they're smaller. Right. So we're going to go away. I'm going to put these in the ovens. You don't need to. We don't need to film the cakes baking. And we're going to come back when the cakes come straight out of the oven, because meanwhile, what we're going to do is we're going to take the juice of one orange, mix it with some more sugar, and make a little, almost like an orange drizzle cake.
Oh.
And you're going to put that on over the cakes before they cool.
Right.
Leave them in the tin. And then we're going to come back and we're going to finish them off by drizzling some chocolate over the top of them.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yep. Okay, so we will see you very shortly. Okay, bye.